In part one, I showed you some of the fundraisers connected to Queen's lawsuit, and then I let Queen and B. Tim speak for themselves. You heard them repeatedly promise transparency. They said people would know what came in, what went out, and what was paid to the attorney. The case eventually ended in September of 2025, but that complete accounting was never shown. Queen now says there's a reason for that. According to her, a judge ordered her not to show the financials. That's a very specific claim. So naturally, the next question is, what did the judge actually order? Today, Queen addressed that question on a live stream and offered what she says is proof. So rather than speculate about what she means, let's use Queen's own explanation and the court information she's relying on.
Kept her subs up to date with it. The Twitter tells you.
Well, we didn't have a fucking court order after that. Matter of fact, the docket, I've shown the docket on live streams, I don't know how many times.
Right.
I could disconnect Kick right now and pull up my fucking docket. There's a motion that Betty put in for earmarked funds when Savage was hollering about me buying my daughter's car, right? So she puts in the fucking motion. She's like, I want to know exactly what's coming in, exactly what's going out. I want to know it all. I was like, bitch, you ain't, no, fuck you. So we struck the motion down. She continued on, and she also put in a motion to limit the scope of the deposition questions because she didn't think that it was fair that my attorney asked her certain questions about her sex life. Whatever. Okay, cool. Do you? Whatever. So that was her problem. She stood up in front of the judge, per the court paperwork. We got the transcript, read it off. Actually, Toasty read this off. And I quote, she said, it doesn't matter if I a whole football team. It's not your business. Hey, she very well might be right. But you know what? You brought it to the internet when you guys were doing all that craziness outside Michael Vaughn's house and camping and all that crazy stuff. So,
well, she brought it to your attention when she sued you in court over somebody talking about her sex life on piano. So, of course, your sex life is going to get dug into by an attorney if that's what you're suing for.
Exactly. So, I forgot what I was saying anyways. I can't even remember where the fuck. So she read that. So the motion. So the judge then comes back and strikes her motion down and says no. He struck her motion down for the deposition questions. He struck her motion down for the earmarked funds. And he struck her other motion down that she had filed. Let me think what it was. I'm trying to think what it was. Let me go look. Let's see here. So it says, okay, so let's see. We have on the docket 8/16/2024 was a argument heard on a motion to dismiss amended counterclaim, matter taken under advisement. Also, an argument was heard on the motion to strike Google subpoena, motion for accounting of earmarked funds, and motion to limit deposition questions. All three motions are denied for reasons stated on the record. Parties to set other pending motions to be heard prior to CMC order to be emailed to PL to be uploaded. The following line was the case management conference set for 11/12/2024, 8/13, which was our response in the opposition to the motion to earmark funds filed by my attorney, 8/13. So these are backwards. So 8/13, she files, they objected. The objection to respond to the motion for accounting for earmark funds filed by Andra. 8/13, cause goes before the court, case management conference, present via Zoom, plaintiff Andrea, present pro se defendant by her attorney. CMC continued to 8/16, 10 a.m. to be heard with pending motions hearing. Parties are allowed to appear via Zoom on this one. Then it says no order because the via Zoom. 8/13, response in opposition to motion to earmark funds. 8/16, case management conference set for 11/12, 8/16/2024, PI present, pro se defendant present. And then he said, and then my attorney's name, arguments heard on motion to dismiss amended counterclaim. Matter taken under advisement. Arguments heard on motion to strike Google subpoena, which was hers. And then it says, hold on a minute. Case continued 11/12/2024 at 10 for CMC. Parties to set other pending motions. And prior to that, oh yes. So it says arguments heard on motion to strike Google subpoena, motion for accounting of earmarked funds, and motion to limit deposition questions. All three motions denied for reasons stated on the record. Case continued. Parties to set the other pending motions to be heard. CMC order to be emailed. So that's when I got my court order. That's what it was emailed to me when she got her motion struck the fuck down. So there you go. And all that costs money. Fuck right. Every single motion, everything she filed, all of that. But Toasty fails to say that. But like I said, I mean, I think that
Queen reads from the case record and says there were 3 motions before the judge: a motion to strike a Google subpoena, a motion for an accounting of earmarked funds, and a motion to limit deposition questions. Then she reads the result. All 3 motions are denied for reasons stated on the record. And after reading that, Queen says, "So that's when I got my court order." This is where we need to slow down and be extremely clear, because 2 completely different things are being presented as though they mean the same thing. The motion for an accounting of earmarked funds was Betty's request. Betty believed there were problems with the way money was being collected for this lawsuit. She asked the court to require an accounting of those funds. She wanted Queen to provide a full accounting, or alternatively, have the funds handled through a trust or the attorney. The judge denied Betty's request.
That means Betty was not successful in using the lawsuit to force Queen to provide that accounting. It does not mean the judge ordered Queen not to provide an accounting voluntarily. Those are 2 completely different rulings. Think about the direction of each one. Betty's motion was, "Judge, make Queen show the accounting." The judge said no to Betty's request. Queen's claim today is, "The judge told me I am not allowed to show the accounting." Those statements are not interchangeable. One would mean Betty cannot force Queen to show it. The other would mean Queen is legally prohibited from showing it. And nothing Queen read during that live stream says the second thing. It doesn't say Queen cannot tell donors how much money she collected. It doesn't say Queen cannot show what she paid her attorney. It doesn't say Queen cannot show her legal bills. And it doesn't say Queen is prohibited from providing the public with the financial accounting she and B. Tim repeatedly promised. In fact, the portion Queen herself read concerning the earmark funds says that Betty's motion for an accounting was denied. Now, could there be some completely separate written order somewhere that actually prohibits Queen from releasing this information? Sure. If there is, that's very easy to establish. Show that order. Not the motion Betty filed asking for an accounting, not the ruling denying Betty's motion, not a case management order simply because the word order appears on it. Show the actual language where a judge tells Queen that she cannot disclose to her donors how much money she collected and how much she paid toward the legal expenses those donations were supposed to cover. Because that's the claim being made.
Argument. BHB is demanding an accounting of funds earmarked for this lawsuit and those proceeds be immediately turned over to the registry of the court for safekeeping. In the alternative, BHB will concede to opposing counsel's escrow account to safely keep said earmarked funds. BHB has attached clear and convincing evidence to the amended complaint that demonstrates these funds were being elicited for this very specific court case. It is clear that QB expects BHB to pay for her attorney fees and/or sanctions that are threatened by opposing counsel with every communication BHB has with opposing counsel. So, BHB is entitled to a full and detailed accounting of said funds. QB should not be in control of the estimated $40,000 to $70,000 of earmarked funds for this very specific action and counteraction. It may be negligent for this court not to make sure these funds are safe and only spent on this action, which is what the money was raised and earmarked to do.
Betty says she doesn't care what Queen releases, and the ruling Queen presented does not say what Queen claims it says. Until we see an order that actually prohibits her from providing the accounting she promised her donors, we're left with Queen's interpretation of what the court ordered, not the order itself. And instead of simply producing that document and ending the argument, somehow, this became about burnt toast.